Ty, in the past, you guys have kind of willingly surrendered that switch OSU onto Luka, but last game it felt like you guys were having Russ or Terrence, whoever it was, kind of try to fight over that screen and then center fires or whatever else to maybe get the ball out of his hands. What goes into that decision on whether or not you willingly surrender that switch or kind of try to get the ball out of his hands early?
What's surrender mean?
Yeah, well, it feels like you guys kind of let Zoo sometimes, like you let Luka do his thing, right? Yeah, like you let Zoo get that switch on the perimeter instead of trying to blitz it or whatever.
Man, he kills us every time we play him. So we just try a lot of different things to try to keep him off balance. And he's a great player, and so we try to blitz him. He picks you apart. We try to fire. He picks you apart. 1-on-1. So we just try to just mix it up on him and just try to keep him off balance. But for some reason, he loves playing against us. So we got to try to change that narrative a little bit.
So that's never been the plan to actually let that.
Well, that one game I did when we started Zoo on him in the first quarter. I know we played him back-to-back games, and the first game they beat us. We were switching with Zoo, and he kind of did a good job of scoring on Zoo. So the next game I was bullheaded, and we started Zoo on him for the whole first quarter, and it was good. So we'll see. And we won, so we'll see.
So you're excited to see Luka today?
No, I'm not.
I'm curious, how have you seen Kyrie was obviously a great player when you coached him in Cleveland. You guys won a championship together, but how have you seen him evolve at all since that time? I think it's like 7 years ago now.
I mean, he's still the same Kyrie, as far as can score, going left, going right, floaters left, right, off the dribble threes, left, right, post ups. He still can score, with the best of them. And so I think, now with Luka, it's kind of just, put him in a position where, okay, I have my opportunity. When Luka goes out of the game, then I'll just take over some of the scoring responsibility. And we know he's always dangerous in the fourth quarter, in the game. And so he just kind of he's found his niche, kind of where he wants to be. J. Kidd does a great job of just using those two guys so they're both engaged in the game and they both have a rhythm. And he's been playing fantastic.
The defense has been led by the activity, forcing turnovers, getting steals, but playing against a Dallas team that they pass the ball less than every team except one in the league. Like, how do you kind of go into this game trying to do what you've been doing successfully defensively, but with the team that is so ISO heavy and just doesn't really pass it and allows those opportunities?
Yeah, I think we got to do a good job of, just shrinking the floor, with Kyrie and Luka, not letting those guys see seams and gaps, and try to make them play in the crowd as much as possible, and so Luka's he's a hell of a passer, and so when you do overcommit, he makes you pay. So we got to be true to our responsibilities of what we want to do defensively, but also knowing we got to get back at the shooters as well. And so that's a tough task when you're playing against Luka.
How do they protect, from what you've seen, obviously you played them just 2 weeks ago, like how do they do such a great job protecting the basketball?
It's in two guys' hands the whole game. Great problem to have.
And Ty, after the loss against Dallas the first go round, you said you wanted to see the double team on
After
Luka.
what?
The loss, the first time you guys played them. You said you wanted to see the double team have more of an impact. Can you elaborate on what you mean by that?
Yeah, I think when you try to get the ball out of his hands, you got to come with impact, high hands, aggressive,
Right.
On the ball. You just can't let him bait you, and then make any pass he wants to make on the floor. So when we decide to blitz, we got to make sure we're doing it with impact. We just can't let him look over the defense and make easy passes, and that's what I meant by that.
Ty, Kawhi and James have both seemed to struggle a little bit in fourth quarters. Like, you sub them in about halfway through, and they seem like they struggle to get a rhythm at all after that. How do you kind of get them into a better rhythm when they come in at that point in the fourth? And has there been any thought of possibly starting them in the fourth to try to develop that rhythm quicker?
Yeah, after seeing the numbers that Law put out, it was a lot of thought that went into it. Just changing it up, just see how they feel. I think talking to James and Kawhi, just kind of see how they feel as far as the rhythm and the flow of the game. Especially in that fourth quarter to get the best version of those two guys. And so, just kind of talk to those guys and just kind of see how they feel.
Last night, Paul was talking again how frustrated he was with getting only a handful of free throws for as many times as he thought as he drove the ball and got hit. How do you not let that dissuade a player from being aggressive?
Keep attacking. Keep going to the basket. Like I said, I thought I did a great job of attacking, and I saw at least four that that could have went PG's way that we didn't get the call, but that happens, you know, to officiate. It's a tough game to officiate, especially with all the athleticism, you know, with all the flopping and all the things. But PG was attacking the basket, you know, on 2 dunks, like at the basket, you know, and you know, so just, you know, continue to keep driving the basketball, continue to keep making plays at the rim, and then, you know, hopefully we get those calls going our way.
And then with Russ, with the player, when their minutes go down significantly, how do you, as a coach, or is there anything you can do to make them not feel like they're having to cram in everything that they were doing previously in a longer amount of time into a smaller chunk?
I think just having a constant communication, you know, with Russ, and like I said, it's a different role for him. You know, he went from starting to having the ball in his hands to making, you know, the plays, and now coming off the bench, and you know, when he comes in that 5-minute mark, he's playing with James, so he's off the ball a little bit more, and so I got to do a better job just making sure he's comfortable on the floor, and we can put the ball in his hands so we can make plays, and like you said, so he's not pressing, thinking he has to cram everything into, you know, a certain amount of minutes, and so I got to do a better job with that.
Hey Ty, you guys have won 3 of your last 4 games. Are you starting to see what this team could be now that you have James?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, we're getting better. We're doing some good things, and you know, out of the 14 games, I think we led in the second half, 13 out of 14 games. I think this was the only team that we haven't led against, and so, you know, we're doing some good things. We just got to do it for longer. You know, we got to be able to sustain it and do it for 48 minutes, and so. You know, whether the bench is coming in, you know, playing well, and then our starters come back and don't play well, or our starters are playing well and our bench is not playing well. So we just got to put it together for 48 minutes, and I think everything will be okay.
Last one. Because it is the second night of a back-to-back, is there any, I guess, thought of like giving the rotation a longer look of like Bones or Amir, Kobe, guys like that, maybe on the second night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it happens, but it was a thought.
Yeah.
We'll see how the game goes.
Is it a possibility? Is it
It's a
more than a
possibility.
thought? Okay.
It's a thought and a possibility, but we'll see how the game goes.